I'd like to show you a project today that uses the new Groups with Scrollbars feature. And I'm just going to create a very simple list of objects. Start with a brand new project. Let's change the page color to typical white. And let's start with some basic elements like a border. So let's think of a list of elements like you see on just about every website, with a long horizontal border with an image, a text description, and some kind of a link to click on to go to the page for the item. And we can set up a border easily by choosing a round rectangle and making that opaque. Set the background color to black, just to get a black background, and set the name to empty. And now we have a border. To set up a link that is also a title, let's take a button and let's call that item. And create an opaque, or I'm sorry, non-opaque, transparent, empty border. And let's change the foreground color, the text color, to blue. A typical URL link. And we can even set up the link, the go statement in the script. So we can set up a page that is actually the page that this will link to and go to that page. Let's do that now. Let's call it item 001. And we set the page color of page 2 to white. And let's create a return button. Call that home. And our go statement will be to go to main, page main. We can call it index if we like. For the sake of this video, I'll leave it as main. And let's test that. And so we have our link, and we can test that in real time. Let's go ahead and create a text object. And we'll use a button for an image. And let's take away the label. Let's make it transparent, make it non-opaque, and take away the border. So now we have an empty button that we'll use for our image, and we'll set up our images to stretch by default. That's how you do that. You can select, when you drag into an object, you have to select whether it's off, on, or stretched. And you may have to delete. If you already have images in a button, you may have to right-click and delete an image to get the correct look you're looking for. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's find an image. And I have a folder set up here with some resized images. Let's select our object, and let's go ahead and import an object image, and it's stretched so we can resize it. Now you should use resized images. If you import a very high resolution graphic, it will be very memory intensive on your project because it's imported natively in that resolution. So it's better to actually create a small image to use in the place of a small image. on the page, we can use full-size image. But for all of our thumbnails, we'll use smaller images that I made ahead of time. So now we have our image, and let's set up our description. And etc. So what we have is we have a label element that we can copy over and over again. Let's go ahead and do that. And we can use that as a template. And then what we can do is group all of that. Let's go ahead and align that. And we can group that. And in the border tab, we can now, after we make it a group, we can now set it with scroll bars. And the nice thing about this, I can make the list as long as I want and then scroll to the position and do a background edit and change whatever I like. So now I can change this to a different image. I can change this to another, and so on. That's a mixer. And wherever you scroll in your list, you can go into background edit, and that's exactly where you will start editing. So you can create extremely long lists. In fact, they can be so long, you might have to increase the size of the page, and you do that by going to the project dimensions. And let's just set this up as very long. So now our scroll bar handle gives us lots of room. So we could stretch this group out if we wanted to, but if it was extremely long, what we would do is just edit in place. And when we go into background edit, all of the objects will be seen, but we can scroll all the way down to edit the full group. So you can maintain a very, very long list. And when you convert that, let's go ahead and open another project. Oh, I did want to show you how to change the project name. Let's go ahead and open a project that I was already working on that has a lot of this in place. And let's do a conversion so you can see exactly what it will look like. And I actually had a page set up with a Roland CR78, which was a drum machine, and a home button.